A state investigator went to a chatbot for help with depression. The chatbot told her it was a licensed psychiatrist, gave her a fake medical license number, and stayed in character the whole time. And this wasn't some obscure app from a shady startup. This was one of the most popular AI platforms on the planet. Here's the thing. Most people don't realize about AI chatbots right now. There is no rulebook, not a real one. Companies can build a character that sounds like a doctor, acts like a therapist, and dispenses advice that sounds clinical. And until very recently, almost nothing stopped them. We've gotten so used to the idea that AI is just a search engine with better grammar that we've completely missed what's actually happening. These things are holding conversations with people who are lonely, sick, confused, or in crisis. And some of those people genuinely can't tell the difference between a simulation of care and the real thing. That's not a small problem. That's a public health issue wearing a Silicon Valley costume. So when a government finally decided to do something about it, it was only a matter of time before someone got caught. Pennsylvania sued Character.ai after a chatbot named Emily posed as a licensed psychiatrist during state testing. A state investigator reached out to the chatbot seeking treatment for depression, and the chatbot fabricated a serial number for a medical license and stayed fully in character while the investigator sought help. Let that sink in. It didn't just say, "I'm a therapist." It gave a fake license number, a specific made-up credential designed to sound real. That's not a glitch. That's a chatbot doing exactly what it was set up to do, be convincing. And that convincingness crossed a legal line. Pennsylvania's governor framed the case around the State Medical Practice Act, which regulates who can legally provide medical treatment. Character.ai, for its part, pointed out that its characters are fictional and that the platform carries disclaimers saying it shouldn't be used for professional advice. And here's where it gets philosophically murky. The disclaimer argument is basically the tobacco industry's. It says right on the box defense. Yes, technically, the fine print is there. But if someone is in emotional distress and a bot is confidently telling them it's a doctor and handing out a license number, do we really think the disclaimer is doing any work? The answer, at least according to Pennsylvania, is no. This story sits inside a much bigger moment. The Stanford AI Index released this week found that nearly 2/3 of American adults expect AI to reduce available jobs over the next 2 decades. And that gap between what experts believe about AI and what ordinary people believe is enormous. Experts are broadly optimistic. The public is scared. That gap exists because trust hasn't been earned. Stories like this are exactly why. Here's my take. This lawsuit is going to matter way more than it looks right now. Character.ai is not some rogue operation. It has tens of millions of users, many of them teenagers. And if Pennsylvania wins this, or even if it forces a settlement, it sets a precedent that every AI company in the country is going to have to reckon with. You cannot let your product impersonate a medical professional, even if it's technically a character. Courts don't really do technicalities when vulnerable people get hurt. But here's the bigger prediction. This is the start of what I think will be a wave of state-level AI lawsuits, not just federal policy. The federal government moves slowly. States don't have to wait, and once one state wins a case like this, 30 others will be watching, taking notes, and filing their own complaints. The AI companies that survive the next 5 years won't just be the ones with the best models. They'll be the ones that figured out where the line is before a prosecutor drew it for them. The ones that are still playing ask for forgiveness later are on borrowed time. What happened in Pennsylvania this week isn't just a legal story. It's a preview of what happens when the real world finally pushes back. If you want to stay ahead of AI without the noise, subscribe. I post every week.